Hey, what's up internet? My name is Castro and today we are doing a super exciting tech review video because after 7 years of editing on this base model 2011 MacBook Pro, which has served me very well, and I finally upgraded to the all-new 2018 MacBook Pro 15-inch touch bar with an Intel Core i9 processor. So this is literally the most powerful MacBook Apple has ever released. So you can say it's kind of a big upgrade from this base model 2011 13-inch MacBook Pro to this big one. We're gonna do a little review on this laptop, so I'm super excited to go check it out. Fun fact, I am like the worst at unboxing videos, and I kind of already unboxed it. The laptop is right here, so let's go ahead and just throw this box to the side and take a look at this. You know what I need to do, Joe? I need to get like some really like sexual like product B-roll shots of this. So in front of me, I have the 2018 15-inch MacBook Pro with touch bar, and inside of it, I upgraded it to a 2.9 gigahertz, 6-core, 8th generation Intel Core i9 processor, a Radeon Pro 560X with 4 gigabytes of GDDR5 memory, 16 gigabytes of RAM, a 512 gigabyte SSD, comes with the Retina display with the True Tone feature, which is pretty fancy, 4 Thunderbolt 3 ports, and of course, the touch bar. I still don't know what I'm gonna do with it because my old computer didn't have a touch bar, and I don't know what can you do with a touch bar. We're gonna find out. One of my biggest pet peeves when I was editing on my old 2011 MacBook is that I literally could not do anything with 4K footage. I have had some 4K footage from, of course, my DJI Mavic Pro, and even some 4K footage from my iPhone. And the thing is, it would not play or edit smoothly on here. I would have to down convert it to 1080p, but thankfully with this, it runs super smoothly. Of course, I do all of my editing in Final Cut Pro, which is great. Going through this, it's just so buttery smooth, and I am in love with how easy it is to edit on this. What? Why are you laughing?
When you open up Final Cut Pro, it opened up instantly. When I open up on my desktop, it takes quite a bit. Dude, what the hell?
Yeah, you don't want to open it up on this. It takes like a minute to open up. I shoot all of my drone footage in 4K, and the fact that it's even able to play smoothly on this computer is so great. And I noticed that here on the touch bar too, there's even like a way to just play around with it. And so that's pretty cool. But the big difference, of course, comes under the hood because now 6-core Intel Core processors are standard. This one was the high-end version, which actually came with the Intel Core i7 processor, but the one build-to-order upgrade that I put on this was actually the Intel Core i9. I still can't get over how big this this magic trackpad is. Like, if you take a look at it, it's literally bigger than an iPhone 10, and compared to the one on the 2011 one, it's like insanely bigger. And so the big trackpad is something that I definitely appreciate. I didn't think the one on there was too small, but like, hey, bigger is better. Isn't that right? But of course, there is controversy with this keyboard with the previous 2017 MacBook Pro, where people have been complaining that by getting little crumbs and stuff underneath there, it could actually render that entire key useless, and it's like a really expensive repair. But Apple actually addressed this issue by putting a little thin plastic membrane under each one of these keys, and they claim that it's actually a lot quieter. And so, although I don't have the one right before, let's just see how much quieter it is compared to this 2011 MacBook Pro. Here's some typing. And keep in mind, this is without the butterfly keyboards. Oh, that's so much quieter. This is actually happening, Joe. Joe's like over here laughing at me. Like, some people just don't like typing on the new butterfly keyboard, but I kind of like it. Like, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's like popping bubble wrap. But I know for people who do a lot of typing and who do a lot of just like work with the keyboard, it can be a little bit of a pain. So it's kind of like a preference thing, I like to think. Performance-wise, this thing is absolutely a beast. Like, even just comparing it to like the last generation, like MacBook Pro with touch bar, you can see based off of Geekbench scores and other performance tests that this thing has had a massive upgrade over its predecessor. Its predecessor only had a 4-core Intel Core i7. This one I actually upgraded to an Intel Core i9, so that's pretty awesome, and is definitely super great if you're into really graphic intensive or CPU demanding tasks, of course, like myself who edits videos. literally for hours on end with very little sleep. Also with this particular model with the Intel Core i9 processor, there's been a lot of controversy surrounding the idea that Apple has allegedly been throttling the performance on the i9 processor because of heating issues and just kind of how thin this is. I mean, if you look at how thin this is, it's like stupid thin. And so the fact that an Intel Core i9 can fit into this body and chassis is insane. Is the i9 processor like even gonna be as fast as the i7 if it's gonna be throttled for heat issues? Of course, Apple did go and address the issue and release a software update. And after that update, it seemed to really solve the issue and now it's no longer a problem. Definitely love the Intel Core i9. This thing over here had the Intel Core i5 from 2011, Sandy Bridge, and literally had USB 2.0. My biggest pet peeve and downside, and something that I'm really struggling to get used to, is the fact that there are literally no USB-A ports on this thing. There's a headphone jack. They put a headphone jack on here, but not their iPhones. So they have 4 Thunderbolt 3 ports, which are also USB-C, and of course the old one that I had literally everything. It had MagSafe, which I miss. Like Apple, MagSafe was a brilliant invention. Why you gotta take it away? It had MagSafe, FireWire, which I actually never used once on this computer. It had FireWire, Ethernet, Thunderbolt 2, 2 USB ports, SD card slot, and a headphone jack. I went out and I actually got the Hyperdrive USB-C hub, and it was like $90 on Amazon. And I have so many adapters for this computer, like it's insane. I've gotten so many adapters for this, where with this you just kind of plug it in. USB-C is the future. I actually just bought a Nintendo Switch, and so that was my very first ever USB-C device, so I've kind of been loading up on those USB-C cables, but I mean, I've been loading up on adapters as well. Apple, you couldn't have put an SD card reader on this. That would have been really nice, especially for someone who edits a lot of video. And SD cards are so thin. They're literally thinner than a USB-C port. You couldn't have put an SD card slot on here. Also, gaming-wise, this is a computer that's very powerful. Now, chances are you can probably get a better gaming PC. I don't really recommend gaming on a Mac. I've been playing a lot of SimCity, a lot of Sims 4, and Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. Classic. But I've been testing it out like gaming wise. I mean, I don't play very intense games, and for anyone who knows me, I'm not a hardcore gamer. I play SimCity, so that says a lot about me. But the thing with this is I've literally cranked up all the settings as high as they go, and it has not like lagged whatsoever. There's been no dropped frames, and so I have to say it's pretty crazy. Also, a big thing, a huge thing I have to like mention is of course this gorgeous Retina display. Like, it is insanely beautiful. Like 15.4 inch Retina display with a 2880 by 1800 resolution, which is pretty insane considering this old one here had a 1280 by 800. So it's a huge upgrade. And one of the new features that they've introduced with this MacBook is the True Tone display. That's something that Apple's had in iPhones, including the iPhone 10, but it's actually something that I turned off on here simply because I do a lot of video and photo editing on here, and the last thing I want is to have the True Tone display make the colors a little different. Then I edit colors and photos and videos, and then when I send it off, it looks really weird. So I actually opted to turn it off. I don't know what else to mention. I don't do these laptop review videos very often. I like tech. So with that, I think I pretty much touched on everything with the new 2018 MacBook Pro. Like, I've just been playing around with it. I've had it for about a week now, and it's worked wonders when it comes to just video editing, and it's insanely fast compared to my old one. And I'm a big believer in just kind of like making the most out of all the technology you have, and not necessarily getting like new stuff as soon as possible, but just making the most out of it. This has been a long time coming, and hopefully I'll be able to get videos up faster because that's something I'm not the best at. We have a little bit less of an excuse here. But thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully you guys did enjoy this first look at a 2018 15-inch MacBook Pro with an Intel Core i9 processor. And if you did like this little tech review video and want to see more tech videos, definitely let me know in the comments below. And of course, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And until then, I will see you guys on the internet. You know, my EA account actually got hacked.
Did it really?
Yeah, like the security question wasn't Russian and my username was switched. And so I turned on two-step verification and it was like super crazy.
Did you get it back?
I got it back, yeah.